Hey everyone, if you would believe with us that this is going to work this time, we have been trying to go live here together for a while. We did it in another group. When I say we, I'm talking about my friend Samantha. And you really do want to stick around for this. Bear with us here because I'm going to talk to her about her story of a dental appointment that she had quite a few years back that was life-changing for her. Not in a good way. She was poisoned and still working. She's doing so much better, but still working on getting her health back fully. I just added her as an admin so that she could just come on here. Join in the video. We may just have to go make this into a Zoom. We were able to do this on her phone, and I don't know why this is not working on my phone right now. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Send request. Now this may work. Yes.
Hey.
Okay. So you still sound a little far away.
Okay. I don't know what to do about that.
I don't either. So you might have to talk loud. I am
Okay.
going to message Sarah. If anybody on here is watching, I was going to invite Sarah to watch. That's what I'll do. If anybody on here is watching, can you please tell us if you can hear Samantha? This is my friend Samantha. So talk again. Say hello.
Okay. Hi. Can you hear me okay? Let's see if I can do something with my audio here. It's on as high as it'll go.
Sarah, can you hear Samantha?
Can you hear me, Sarah?
Let's wait for her to let us know here. So do I sound like...
She can hear me. So maybe it's just because we're talking to each other.
Maybe. Well, we're just going to finally go for it then.
Yes.
Just going to go. Yeah. Okay. So, especially with my hearing thing here. So I hope that okay, let's just get started. Okay, guys.
Okay.
Hi. So if you know me, you know I'm Molly Laporta. This is my group here about health and wellness. And sorry, we're just kind of all over because we've been trying to do this for hours now. But I am excited to share this with you. I've got this bait. It's not like a happy, it's a happy story because you're getting well, because you've gotten so much better. But I've invited Samantha on here to talk about her story. She had a very unfortunate dental appointment back in, what was that, 2018?
2019.
2019, that absolutely changed your life in a really tough way years ago, and it's gotten much better. But I want you to tell them how, in my post I wrote, how the connection between dental work and our overall health, and how so many people, including myself, just had no idea how connected it is. And let me just tell you real quick, the reason that I even found Samantha is that I was looking for information about getting an old root canal removed, and also a cracked tooth that will probably be extracted instead of putting a crown on it. And I was looking for information because I had already had, I had been really sick from breast implants, and I had my breast implants taken out. So now I'm down this road of learning about root cause and health and how everything's connected. And wow, when I found Samantha's group, she was just there to answer so many questions. We messaged back and forth. I probably drove her a little bit crazy, asking all kinds of questions like, what do you mean? What's a periodontal ligament? And why is this important? And what do you mean I have to get ozone on my tooth? Like, I had no idea. And she is just one of the most patient, giving, selfless, the way that you help people. There's over 8,000, no, but about 8,000 people in a group that she has called Root Canals just say no. That's where I found her, thankfully. And there's a wealth of information there. But let's get to your story and tell us what happened. Like we were going to try to make this real short, but let's just talk. Tell it,
Mhm.
whatever you want to do.
Okay, well, yeah, I won't. I'll try to condense as much as I can. So basically, in 2019, I had bit down on something hard, and December 2019, and I had 8 amalgam fillings from childhood that I had always in the back of my mind had
Can I
thought that
stop
they
you?
do.
Will you tell people?
Mhm.
Because years ago, when I would hear amalgam, I was like, that's
Yeah,
just silver fillings.
right, right.
Silver
That's what I
fillings don't.
thought. That's what I thought too. So I knew in the back of my mind that I, should really look into this and probably get them replaced, but I had never taken the time to research. And what amalgam fillings are more than 50% mercury, and they are a amalgamation of different metals. All of them are not healthy for the body, but definitely very high percentage of mercury. And the reason they use them, there's many reasons why they use them, which I won't go into now. But one of the reasons that they use them is because they are so strong, and back in the day when I was a kid, that's what they did for cavities. So I had 8 of them from childhood.
Okay.
And so I bit down on something hard. I felt something break. I spit it into my hand, and it was a piece of metal filling, amalgam filling, mercury filling. I didn't know what I didn't know back then.
Right.
So I just made an appointment with my regular dentist to fix the filling. And so I went to have that done. And without any protection or holistic protocols, biological protocols, he went ahead and drilled into the filling, placed more amalgam to fix it. And I knew right away that that was not a good thing.
Can I
Something
have you
just,
back up? Because I'm thinking of
mhm,
me when I was first learning. When you say no holistic protocols, no whatever,
yeah.
people don't realize that when a dentist goes in to take amalgam out, they should look like they're in a hazmat suit almost, yes?
Yes, yes. And if you come into my group, Root Canals Just Say No, we have tons of information on that in there. A lot of people are not aware of that. Yes,
Be-
literally, like dressed like a spaceman. And yeah, none of that happened for
And
me in this
that's what
appointment.
most people would go to the dentist, even today. There's a lot of, you just like you did. And he go, oh, we're just gonna take them out. I mean, I've seen pictures, I posted about it, probably took the post from you, where like the whole room is cut. Like it's like this is a serious thing because this stuff is really toxic.
Yes,
Okay, sorry, go
yes.
ahead.
There's special vacuums, special air purifiers. You're wearing oxygen. Yeah.
I just
Mhm.
wanted to clear that up for people. So they were like, what does she mean by the protocols?
Right,
So
right, yeah.
they were taken
Um,
out incorrectly.
so basically, exactly what he, and so I asked him, why did he not use composite? And he said, you can't put composite on amalgam, but he said, it's perfectly safe, you're perfectly fine. And I, I didn't believe that to be true, but again, I didn't know what I didn't know. And so within a couple of days, I started having strange symptoms. I started having different pains in my body, different pains on the same side as the tooth. I started having lack of appetite, uh, issues, it was a
You were
laundry
like
list of symptoms. Like
exhausted, weren't you? And just,
it was, yeah, there was cognitive issues, there were gut issues, there was lack of appetite, weight loss, pain, all different things. And I kept going back to the tooth. I kept saying, "Is something happened that day? Something changed drastically that day." But of course, I went through the whole Western medicine system. I first went to my nurse practitioner, who sent me for tests. The tests all came back fine, but I continued to decline in my health. Um, and so I started going to the hospital and going for other tests. And again, they were showing up fine. So but my health.
And you're exhausted. Like at what point, because you were literally bedridden at one point.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You never
Mm-hmm.
went back to work, you said, from like
No.
to your regular job
No.
from that day.
Never.
And
No.
so, people asking,
Mm-hmm.
and here's what I want to tell people. If you would like to talk to Samantha about her experience, she would be happy to do that. You can join her group, and there's a couple questions. It'll say, how did you hear about the group? Just put my name. She'll know then, and she'll accept you to the group, and you're more than happy to answer questions. So anyway, go ahead.
For sure. Yeah. So, my instincts kept telling me it went back to the mercury exposure and back to that day with the tooth. So basically I had lost over 20 pounds, my appetite, everything, had just ricocheted, like I say, into a laundry list of symptoms, chronic pain, cognitive issues, many, many different things. I was non-functioning.
Okay.
And so I definitely knew that something was up, but no Western test could show me that. So I decided to go to a naturopath who at the time had said, you know what, I think it's the metals. I think it's what happened with your tooth. So I started to explore and look into that side of things. And just like you, I found the group that I now run. And just like you, I got in that group and said, oh my gosh, seriously.
Eye-opening.
Mind-blowing. Yeah, I was just, because I also had a root canal, and for 27-year-old root canal tooth as well. So I was like, wow, oh my gosh, is this something I am ready to explore? Is this something I'm emotionally ready to explore? And so I even left at one point that group. I got in that group. I was overwhelmed with information and very, very scared. And then I came back and I said, you know what, I got to face.
You were struggling.
Mm-hmm. So, yes.
I mean, you're overwhelmed, you're scared, you're tired, you're sick, yeah.
Yeah. So I got back in that group. I informed myself. I got an appointment with a biological dentist, and I went from there. And we did, with the SMART protocols, which I talk about in that group, we did get the amalgams out.
Okay.
Now, the biological dentist did tell me, he said, this is just the first step. This is just the first step. You get them out, but then you have to get the metals out.
Of your body.
And he gave me, so out of your body. And so he gave me, that was just the first step, was actually the SMART protocol amalgam removal.
Okay.
With the replacement of the composites. But he said, that's not going to guarantee that you're going to get better. He said, you need to chelate. And, chelate is a word that is quite extreme, and a lot of people cannot chelate.
Right.
And so then I started to research that, and my options available to me were IV chelation. And I wasn't up for that. I told him straight out, like, I can't, my health is not strong enough that I can do this. So he said, well, then he gave me other things to do, but they were not effective, and they were not safe either. So I decided not to do those things, and I decided to keep researching and keep waiting until I figured out what was going to be right for me. So then fast forward to, this was about 2021, fast forward to the summer of 2023, I found out about Avini.
I just want to tell people, you are a researcher. Like, you're going to research.
Mm-hmm.
You're not just going to go, oh, I heard it worked. Like me, I'm like, it works. I'll check it out too. Now I'm more of a researcher. Okay. But before I was just, when you're really overwhelmed, but you were really digging deep before you just tried anything.
Yeah, because I had been dentally poisoned, and then I did trust my doctors to help me pharmacologically, and that made things worse.
Right.
So I did not trust anything anymore. I wasn't going to put anything in my body that I didn't fully trust. So I decided to research Avini and research the product Cell Defender that helps to get the metals out. And so I started researching. I talked to the company. I spent weeks and weeks and weeks. And then I started with it in October 2023. I started with one drop.
And this is what she's talking about that I talk about a lot in this
And
group.
I can't see you. So,
Oh,
again, I can't
forget.
see you. So,
Okay. Wait, you can't see me.
I can't see you right now. I know we'll show up. We'll both show up on your live, but
Got
I
it.
can't see right
This
now.
is what
So I
she's talking
assume,
about. I'm
yeah,
just holding up the bottle. It looks like a little eye drop bottle. There are 600 drops in this bottle. They're tasteless. You put it right in your mouth. Anyway, go on.
yeah. So I had the bottle for several weeks before I even opened it.
Okay.
Okay.
That's so you.
And it is so me. Yeah, very, very me. So so yeah, actually it was the one of the owners of Avini that actually phoned me and said, "What is it going to take to put this in your body?" And he helped me take it. So that was lovely, and he's a wonderful man. And I even had a meeting with the biochemist who said to me, go very slow
Okay.
in my case. So I did. I did one drop the first day, one drop the next day, and then eventually after a couple of days, I did 2 drops, and then I went up to 3 drops, and now I'm on a really nice daily dose. But within the first week, cognitively, it started helping me.
Amazing.
Physically, within a couple weeks, it started helping me. Now, one thing I didn't mention is one of the chronic pain issues that I had due to the mercury poisoning was it flared up my weak spots. So mercury will do that. It will flare up metals in general will do that. They will flare up your weak spots. So
Okay.
what happened was I had two C-sections back in the 90s with my children, and obviously without knowing, those were my weak spots because I had 24/7 chronic pain from scar tissue and adhesions from those surgeries, and they were twisting and pulling my body and my organs into out of alignment, and
And that just kept
eh,
getting worse.
it kept getting worse and worse and worse. And so once I started on the Cell Defender, after a few weeks, I started noticing the body pain was going away. I started noticing that the scar tissue was releasing and allowing more range of motion.
Wow.
And I'm not the only one, because I
Right.
was already told that by a few people that Cell Defender
Me
will
too.
help take so what happens when we have scar tissue is that we have a positive charge going on in the body, and heavy metals and toxins are very attracted to that positive charge,
Okay.
and Cell Defender comes in and changes that to a negative charge. And so when that happens, then we have some relief from that.
Yeah. Because
And
it's
that's
attracted.
what
It's like the frequency.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I did not know that until it happened to me. And then I started saying, why is this happening? And so I started doing my own more research to find out why it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, that's why it's happening. So yeah, so then I started to, like I say, I started to get
Right.
better. I started to get back to functioning. And yeah, so that's basically in a nutshell.
And
That's it. Tell
so
me if I need to elongate anything else, or
well, I
um, you
think
know,
the major, and I keep forgetting you can't see me. I'm not doing anything, whatever. But I was
mhm,
had my hands in the air like this. You can't see me saying when you were talking about scar tissue, because from my explant
yeah,
surgery, I still have an adhesion underneath my right side, but it has started to, and it's been 2 years. It was 2 years yesterday. It's my 2-year anniversary, and I've been on the Cell Defender since September of 2024. Okay. So some of this stuff doesn't happen overnight.
no,
Your scar tissue certainly didn't all release overnight, because just recently you
no.
said how much more. It's like you're,
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I've been on it for about 17 months now. consistently. And about 3 months ago, I
Yeah,
went
share
to
that.
my, yeah, I went to my chiropractor. I see him about once a month. And he was feeling around in the areas of my scar tissue, and he said, I hardly feel it. And
Amazing.
he said it feels like you've been taking serapeptase. So if you know what serapeptase is, it's an enzyme that can help to rid some scar tissue from your body, but it doesn't work for everybody, and it doesn't work. You have to take it, constantly. It's hard on the body. It's hard on
Yep.
the gut. It's very expensive.
Expensive.
It,
Yep.
it comes with its own side effects, and I couldn't take it because I would projectile vomit.
Oh, golly. Okay.
So
Okay.
I couldn't take it. But anyway, yeah. So Self Defender's so passive and so gentle, and it's doing other things. It's getting toxins and heavy metals out, whereas the other products don't do those things.
Right.
And it's a solution,
Yeah.
so he was floored. He was just like, wow, I don't feel the ropiness. I don't feel the lumps and bumps. I see a huge change. I feel a huge change. And me inside my own body with my symptoms, I feel a huge change too.
Amazing. And what I was going to say, we say this a lot. It's like toxins and heavy metals live in your bones and your fat, and it's in your system. And so people think, well, okay, if I say I have, we did a video earlier. Sorry, I'm kind of referring to that. Samantha and I did a video earlier in her group. Her group again is root canals. Just say no. And this isn't something that like the Cell Defender that I'm just going to take because I'm getting an old root canal out. This isn't something she's just going to take for a while to get better from the dental poisoning. It is a lifestyle, everyday, everyday product, everyday use, because we are constantly hit with toxins and heavy metals in every single thing that we do. We say, you can't outrun or out eat the toxins. Like you can eat the healthiest you can eat. You can try and drink the cleanest water you can drink. You can try to breathe the best air you can breathe. You're still getting hit from every direction. So you need to have those going through your system passively every day. The great thing is Cell Defender doesn't work going through the gut. It works going through your lymphatic system, and then it goes out through your urine. And so you were mentioning this earlier in our other video about you don't have the Herx. And if somebody doesn't know what a Herxheimer is, I'm very familiar because stuff my son's gone through, we were always kind of concerned, and he really didn't have any of that, thank goodness. But a Herxheimer is like a bad reaction, like you're getting toxins out and you don't feel, it's like you have the flu, right? I mean, it can be all kinds of things.
Yeah.
This is passive, and people might go, well, I've had people say to me, how does it work so well? Won't I feel sick if it's a detox or if it's a this, that, and I'm like, I can't explain. It's because it is a gentle, passive, call it a detox. I don't really like that word because it might sound harsh, right?
It's not, I wouldn't call it that either. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you're pulling it out, and, I say this, I say that 20 drops a day is a maintenance dose for every day. And some people can be on those 20 drops and I feel really good, right? You feel really good. When I do more drops per day, okay, 5 to 10 drops, anything more than 10 drops an hour you're wasting it. But the more you're doing that, I'm 55 years old. Like we've got stuff in our bones and our fat and everything that's been there a long time. So for me, it's pulling it out. Really, I'm doing more drops than the 20 because I want to get there quicker. I want to get this stuff out faster. It doesn't mean you have to. And everybody's different. I think it's really important to point that out too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It might have taken you 17
Some
months to
some people need to go slower. Some
yeah.
people can take more sooner. Yeah, everyone's different.
Yeah, and it really, people, how do I know? Well, you just start and you test it out. And sometimes people might say, well, I might have been a little bit tired, or I might have felt like you need to drink water, like you should drink water anyway.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's so important. So I think a huge part of this message is not just that toxins and heavy metals are really detrimental to our system. You can look up any health issue, any kind of disease, and what does it point back to? Toxins and heavy metals, among other things, right? And so we
Hmm.
know that's a big thing. You're hearing more and more about it. But a clean body can heal itself. And then also, if you don't know about this dental stuff like amalgam fillings, if you have those, if someone has those and they're going to get them
Hmm.
out, don't just go and go, I'm going to get, I mean, research it, go to her group, check things out. The group is called, like I say, root canals, just say no, but I wouldn't say it's just not all about root canals, would you say?
No, yeah, no. Unfortunately, we can't put everything we talk about in the title, but we do try to keep it focused on the dangers of root canals and how to get them extracted biologically with the proper protocols, and then of the dangers of amalgam fillings and how to also get those replaced with the proper protocols biologically. So those are our main two focuses within the group.
So I'm going to just throw this in here really quick. We can wrap it up because you and I could probably just keep talking. We've had a long day, haven't we?
We have had a long
Long
day.
day, but it's been good.
Yeah.
Because we're passionate about this, but I'm just going to throw this in there. Besides
And
me,
one thing, Molly, before I forget, I just want people to know that they can take Cell Defender if they have amalgams in their mouth right
great
now,
point.
and
Yeah,
it is perfectly safe to do that. And actually, I would advise it, because if I had known about Cell Defender when I was starting my journey to figure this out, it at
who
least will
knows?
keep you at a baseline to
Yep,
help you, because amalgam fillings are always gassing off. They're always releasing amalgam and metals into your system. So I always tell people, get on, if even if you're looking to find a biological dentist to get out the amalgam fillings, get on the Cell Defender in the meantime and up until, and then
100%. And the only
afterwards,
reason
you know.
I'm not sharing more, my story in here is because, we did our video earlier, and then I'm going to share our video that we did to my group. So if y'all want to come back and hear me talk about my old root canal and a cracked tooth I have and how I've been using the Cell Defender until I can get those taken care of, and, and all that stuff, you can see that other video. But I'll just say, I know that it's bought me time. Like I've told, the dull ache, I was without it for 5 days and now I'm back on it, and it's a world of difference. But I just want to point out, when I've been to different biological dentists here, which I'm not going to go to anybody here in North Carolina, I'm ending up, I'm going to go out of state. I'm very happy that I found somebody that I feel that I do trust and feel good about, and I'm going to be getting that done soon. But the other thing I'm going to have him look at is if I have dangerous cavitations, which I know that's another video, but I'm saying that because an extraction is an extraction. There's like root canals, and then I'm talking about, I had 5 wisdom teeth, crazy, okay? But my 4 areas of cavitations, like that's a whole other thing to talk about,
Hmm.
right? And did you have wisdom teeth or no?
No, because I had several teeth pulled as a young child for braces, and so I do have wisdom teeth, but they took up the place of my molars.
Oh, I love it. So you never got your wisdom teeth out.
No, in a roundabout way, no.
Okay. So that's another video, but I just think it's important because it's just, I talked to one of my son's friends recently, and he just is getting out of college. He's like, well, I've waited to do this. And I said, do they hurt? And he's like, no. And I said, just wait, just hold on.
Yeah, no. Both my kids have theirs. They waited. They never got them out, and they don't hurt. So leave them.
That's what Luke's going through right now. Once in a while, he'll kind of feel
Yeah.
something, but then it doesn't bother him. But we had one of his dad's friends, who, great guy, he's an oral surgeon, whatever, told him, like, I don't know how many years ago, a long time ago, like 7 years ago, 8 years, like, you need all these out right now. We never did it, and he's still fine.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing.
Hmm.
So that's a whole other thing. I'm just saying, I could talk about the dental stuff. We're passionate about it. We weren't really, that wasn't our plan to go into that.
No,
But you
no.
are feeling so much better. Thank
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
still have a ways to go. I mean, this is not something that it's going to, it really hit me hard. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. And so I still have ways to go with some stuff because it really did affect me physically in a long-term way. But I'm working on that now, and thanks to Cell Defender, I can work on it because it got me to a point where I can function, I can cognitively function and physically function, so I can make better decisions. I can get to the appointments that I need to, and yeah, so
yeah, and
I'm very
you've
thankful for
changed
it.
even since I met you in September, because just the other day when you were out on your walk, out walking around, months and months
Mhm.
ago, I said to you, "Oh, just go make a video. I bet it's beautiful where she's in Canada, by the way. I bet it's beautiful where you are." And you're like, "I just can't do that yet." And now you're all walking 20 minutes away, and
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
working. Thank you for
Yeah, and
sharing.
I'm gaining weight and I have more appetite and it like, people joke and laugh and say, "Oh, if only I had no appetite or if only I was as thin as you." I wouldn't wish it on
Yeah.
anybody,
Because I was gonna say, when you said you lost
Um,
20 pounds, you're tiny anyway. Like I can't
yeah,
even imagine how
yeah, I
thin.
was I was disappearing in front of my own
Yeah.
eyes, and nothing more scary than that until it happens to you,
Right.
because I had already lost 40 pounds before now that is a whole other can of worms that we won't get into, but just really quick to say, I had been doing some pretty extreme fasting and working out, and I lost 40 pounds, and then I broke the filling. So who knows what all was going on underneath the surface with that, and then with my health, and then I broke the
Well,
filling, and so losing that weight was a heavy metal dump in itself, as you've talked about before in this group and other places. Heavy metals get sequestered into our fat, and so because I was so toxic
yep.
from my amalgams and who knows what other toxins I had in my system. I was eating very plant-based vegan, so all or as much biological organic food as I could, and of course, who knows how many metals I was putting in my system from that.
Yeah.
So then, boom, heavy metal dump just from losing 40 pounds, which I wasn't aware of, and then having this tooth tampered with, I reached my
You
tipping
were like
point,
over, like you
is
were like,
what I think.
we talk about the tipping point. You hit
Yeah,
the tipping point, and you took the words right out of my mouth. I wanted to say, listen, you hear about people who lose a bunch of weight, but they're not realizing that it's a huge dump from all of that. And that's
yeah,
what I was gonna say, and you said it for me. It's a
yeah, yeah.
big deal.
And that's what happened to me, and so it was actually, a disaster waiting to happen, is
Yeah.
what it was. And then, yeah, I was disappearing in front of my own eyes because I started losing so much more weight, which I didn't need to lose. But now I'm gaining it back slowly. I am getting my strength back, like I
Yeah.
say. Lots of things are
Yeah.
happening, and if I wasn't getting the metals out, that would not be happening.
Right. You look great. You've come so far. And I'm just like, we're so grateful for Rick Deitch. I always wonder if I say it right. He's our biochemist who
Hmm.
created this product. And I'll put some links in here. If anybody has any questions and you forget, what it was, I can tell you how you can reach out to her or reach out to me, and I'll put you in touch with her. But thank you for
Yeah.
sharing.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And I'll just talk to you. So I'll probably talk to you in a minute.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.